It's been a particularly unforgiving winter in so many ways, and we've now all reached the point in the season when we've had it with this weather. We are now officially ready for spring to arrive. You can tell because a bunch of spirited weirdos got up super early once again to find out whether or not a confused, groggy marmot believes that we might be through the worst of it. This tradition goes back centuries to pagan and Christian weather customs in Europe, and was brought to America by German settlers in Pennsylvania. Despite our best education efforts, many naive Americans remain under the impression that there is only one celebrated weather-predicting groundhog in the country that matters. You know who I'm talking about, that overhyped subterranean yinzer.
It's Punxsutawney Phil!
Yes, he's the most famous one, and he's the one from the Bill Murray movie that was set right here in Punxsutawney, PA, where once again this morning, tens of thousands of people with an impressive amount of free time gathered at the horrifically named Gobbler's Knob to witness Phil's forecast in person, only to be rewarded with this official prediction.
There is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound!
That, my friends, is the sound of thousands of people booing at what I can only assume is a very medicated groundhog who just broke the bad news to the crowd that he foresees a protracted winter slog for us all. But if there's one thing my colleagues learned in journalism school and then mentioned in passing to me, it's that you should never rely on just one source. After all, just because Phil groundhogs all the attention doesn't mean there aren't other celebrated weather-predicting woodchucks out there, many who have apparently proven to be far more accurate, historically speaking. In fact, the National Centers for Environmental Information recently released a study that pitted various notable forecasting groundhogs from across the U.S. against one another in order to determine their levels of accuracy. And according to the results, Punxsutawney Phil's success rate over that period is 35%. That's right, it turns out that Phil is not just bad at predicting the weather, he's atrocious. In fact, all of these whimsical top-hatted weirdos would actually have a better shot at correctly predicting an early spring by flipping a coin. Most groundhogs outperformed him consistently. New York's Staten Island Chuck tops the rankings with an 85% accuracy rate, followed by Georgia's General Beauregard Lee at 80%. And then there's Buckeye Chuck, Ohio's own weather-predicting groundhog. He was designated the state's official forecaster by the Ohio legislature in 1979, back when we could still get stuff done around here. Over time, Buckeye Chuck has proved far more reliable than his Pennsylvania cousin. Depending on the source, his historical accuracy has been as high as 70% based on recorded predictions over the years. So take that, Phil, because this year Buckeye Chuck, aka Murray, who incidentally lives right here at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, and who I'm fortunate enough to call a dear friend, refused to see his shadow at the annual Groundhog Day event in Marion today. So who are you gonna believe, Ohio? I, for one, am putting my money and my hope on the home team. This is Mike, seeing shadows everywhere for 3 News.